on time. Look at us.
Yeah, look at that. Right on time. Absolutely. Who is
Keep it
this?
going. Who is who?
Hey, just something on LinkedIn.
Uh,
These people need to stop messaging me on this, unless it's
yeah. I don't use LinkedIn. Actually, I found my job on LinkedIn, so I can't really complain too much.
Yeah, I sent you a troll message on LinkedIn. You didn't reply to it.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, you saw it, but it was like a
Did
month
I?
ago. Literally a month
I
ago.
never use LinkedIn.
I said, congratulations on your work anniversary with an exclamation point. And there's your picture in the bottom corner saying nothing.
Oh, I ignored those. I assumed it was an
Very,
accident.
very insulting.
I've gotten messages like that before, and they've been like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I would just like your post, so I assumed it was just an accident." But yeah,
but it's me.
Yeah, I thought you clicked something back. I thought you liked a post or something. How we doing, Phil? Welcome in. But funniest link. We'll start with this. Funniest LinkedIn message I've ever got. My nana, who is what 80 at this point, retired obviously. She messages me. She just goes, "I don't know how this works." I'm like, "Yeah, I don't use it much either." And she goes, "I'll watch for your podcast, but I'm not in the job market." I'm like, "Yeah, Nana, no shit, you're not in the job market."
Dude,
I would
LinkedIn is
hope not.
mad funny. I always laugh when I'm on there because there's people on there that I know that are just like dickheads. And it's such a fake professional,
It's weird.
Dude, the fake professionalism is just so weird to me.
It's very
I have a job that is like that now where people are normal and it's
Tarek
not
just
a
joined.
news
Do you
station.
just join LinkedIn or the stream? Regardless, welcome in. We appreciate you.
I just joined
Yeah.
LinkedIn.
I wasn't
Phil with the
sure.
compliment.
We've gotten a lot of good compliments on this day. One of my buddies who I haven't talked to in a while, he said he really enjoyed the jersey one. Said we should get Evan Valenti back on for 40 jersey designs, which we should. We definitely will. I think we should.
Chat popping today.
A lot of people liked it. Hello, Evan. Hello, Dennis. Hello. How we all doing? We appreciate you guys. Wow, this is crazy. Already had 5 of you guys in here, and it is a good time to say, since all of our regulars are already here, I'm going to put up the banner. We are leaving Guy Boston Sports. They're transitioning to a more betting, streamlined type of content. So Celtics pregame shows will be exclusively on the How About Them Celtics podcast YouTube channel starting in 2023. So you have till the month of December ends to head on over to the How About Them Celtics podcast YouTube. We're not going anywhere. We're just moving. Right? We're not leaving. We're not ditching the pre-games. We love chatting with you guys before the games. This has become one of my favorite parts of the day of the Celtics calendar year. But if you are watching on Guy Boston Sports, which 5 out of the 9 of you are, we are no longer going to be on Guy Boston Sports starting in 2023. So if you do enjoy the pre-games and you do want to continue watching us into the new year, make sure to head on over to the How About Them Celtics podcast YouTube channel. It's on the bottom of the screen. It'll be ticking throughout the episode, so make sure to head on over there. But yeah, hello Tiffany, hello Landon, Dennis, Evan, Phil, Tarek, everybody in here. We appreciate you, and I'm hyped. I'm hyped to talk Celtics, and I mean they've been playing pretty well lately. The only thing that does kind of stink is Al Horford. Health and safety protocols. What else? Robert Williams. I mean, obviously, there's
this
some
game
injuries, but
it's so late, man. Here's how it goes when they go.
Landon calling out my dad in the chat.
when they go on the West Coast.
Mm-hmm.
I am essentially gambling to watch these games. I am putting my sleep at risk as a sleep princess. They better win this game. If I'm going to stay up and I'm going to sacrifice my sleep and that alarm's going to go off in the morning and I'm going to dread it, they better win. Next week, they have a back-to-back in LA. Now, this is poor planning on my part. I should have just taken the days. Next time, I will take the days.
Yeah.
Just call it. But it's a gamble. It truly is a gamble. And Norman's not even on the call today. It's Scal.
Is it Scal? Are we sure it's Scal in house? Is Grandy not there too? Is it a 3-person?
Grandy's doing the radio. Wallach, who does the radio when Grandy's not there, is in Boston doing Touch and Rich, so he's not going to be
Gotcha. Gotcha. Thank you, Tarek. We appreciate you. I mean, I don't know if you've been here for a while. You're a new face to me in the chat at the very least, but we appreciate you. So, again, if you're watching on God Boston Sports, you see the ticker at the bottom of the screen. Head on over to the How About Them Celtics podcast YouTube channel. That's where the pregame streams will be. They're not going anywhere. They're just moving to one host spot. So, we appreciate that. Dennis dropping the units on the game once again. Made that 100 units money line last game. Boom. Tonight, I am playing the alt line -5.5 tonight at +205 odds for 50 units. I actually don't hate that. I kind of like that odds. I mean, if the Celtics are going to win, there's probably a good chance they win by 5 or more. And so if you're getting plus money, I feel like that's not bad. Obviously, we'll have our
We
words from
aren't there
Smash
yet.
Odds late in the show. So stick around if you're here for the odds, but we'll get there. Phil talking about another Blake game. I agree. Up to this point, they've been playing Blake on kind of a football schedule. Sam and I know we both wrote about it. There's my dad in the chat. Dad, head on over to How About Them Celtics. Come on. You got to know at this point. Hopefully you're there. But another Blake game. He was great in the win over the Raptors. He played well a few nights ago in the Hornets game. This is the first time, I believe, all season he's played in back-to-back games, at least since his early stints when he was coming off the bench.
He's going to be fatigued.
Exactly. So
You're
we might
asking
not
a
see
lot
the
out of
same
the man
Blake
at this point.
Yes, we might not be seeing the same Blake, but from what we've seen, he has played well. So I'm excited, but hesitant to see how well he plays back.
I'm not convinced how well he's going to match up with Ayton.
Ayton's a bigger beast,
yeah,
for sure.
It's not.
Tougher.
It's not playing against the rookie there in Toronto, or the juggernaut Charlotte Hornets. It's a little different.
Exactly.
Dennis.
Dennis put it right. Blake versus Ayton. Ayton's going to get his 20 points, 10 plus rebound. I'm pretty sure, if I'm not incorrect, Ayton's been playing pretty well lately, which is tough for the Celtics. But I know he won Player of the Week a couple weeks ago, so I know he has been hot at some point. As I look for his box scores, I typed in Ayton. It came up as Peyton Pritchard instead. But over his last few games, he's been solid. He put up 20 and 8 against Dallas the other night, and then he had a 25 and 10. He had a rough game against Houston, of all teams, a few nights ago, but then there was the 30 and 14, 17, 12, 29 and 21, 28 and 12. He's been putting up double doubles like it's his job, and that's because it is his job to put up double doubles. So he's been good for them. There was obviously the contract dispute this past summer with the Pacers, but he's been really good for them this season. And Blake is not necessarily the guy you want there to deal with him. Do I think the Celtics are, going to lose because of that? No. Does that mean the Celtics are definitely going to win? Also, no. But I don't think Blake guarding Ayton is going to be the direct reason they lose, knock on wood, although the rebounding thing could pose an issue because when Horford's in the game, they struggle with rebounding, and Ayton is now going to have the advantage of going up against Blake. But hey, don't count out Griffin. I'll say that. He's scrappy. He hustles on the boards, so you got to respect him for that at the very least.
I was going to say that. I mean, the least you can say about Griffin, he plays hard. Every time he's been out there for the Celtics this year, he's always hustling, getting those extra possessions on the offensive glass, like you said. And last game, he even had a couple of big plays, had the big dunk, and then had the big tip in at the end of the game that was actually pretty clutch. They couldn't buy a basket there, and it was looking like Game 7 against Miami for a second. And he iced it with a nice putback, another hustle play and a clutch play, wrapped into one. Not bad. Interested to see how he does in back-to-back games. Again, matchup is not in his favor, and I don't know, maybe you see Vonleh tonight too. I mean, that could be another thing. I don't know if that's what you want, but it's a possibility. I'm interested to see how Marcus Smart plays against Chris Paul, who's coming off the heel injury. Obviously, you have the Tatum versus Booker matchup. These two teams are the best records in their respective conferences. You have all kinds of things to be excited about in this game, except for the start time and the commentary team. But I don't know. It's strange that Chris Paul's coming back tonight. I saw the notification. I was like, of course. I was like, of course he does.
Well, the thing is, Marcus Smart said it earlier in the season. The Celtics kind of have a target on their back. So if there's a game Chris Paul's going to come back for, he's going to come back when it's a big opponent. And like you said, these are the two best teams in their respective conferences. Celtics are back on fire after dropping one to Miami. They've only lost twice in a row, once this season. Again, knock on wood. But they've been looking good. Dennis talking, or sorry, let me not skip in the chat line. Jimmy J making an appearance. Time Lord on Saturday. I've been saying I think Time Lord is going to come back that first home game when they're back at home from this West Coast road trip. There's a chance he could come back, on the road trip, but that's just my personal opinion. I just think it makes more sense to bring him back when he gets home. As for
Woj
Dennis,
teasing 10 to 12
Woj,
days.
he is. He is definitely teasing. Dennis saying Tatum will have to rebound, assist, and steal tonight. I don't see him scoring more than 25 points because Bridges will give him troubles, and he will not force shots tonight if the Celtics are to win. I agree. And Tatum has been solid this season at sort of managing what role he plays. I think the biggest thing you said here, Dennis, was Tatum will have to rebound. I think you could have put a period after that because with Al Horford out, with DeAndre Ayton in there, Tatum needs to crash the glass, and he's been effectively a 10 rebound lock lately. So hopefully he continue to do that. He's inching up towards a career high in rebounds. I think he's around 8.4 right now, which would be a career high. So I am looking forward to seeing if he can do that. Jimmy J saying the Heat are in free fall. I agree. Landon agreeing with me about Rob, as is Jimmy J. Is Rob definitely on the trip? I haven't seen him.
Hold
on.
on.
Have you seen him on the bench, or are you looking for
Hold
proof
on
here?
I got some for you.
All right, maybe Sam is sleuthing for me, but until then, I'll use this time again to shamelessly plug because we need to. I see 10 of you on Guy Boston Sports. If you're watching us on YouTube and you're on Guy Boston Sports, we are no longer going to be streaming there at the start of 2023. Starting in 2023, if you are if you are watching on Guy Boston Sports, we are no longer going to be there. Starting in the new year, make sure you're subscribed to the How About Them Celtics podcast YouTube channel because that's where these pregame streams will be. So yes, and there it is. Sam with the proof. Is Rob definitely on the trip? It looks like yes, he is on the trip. So there you go. We got a Suns fan in the chat. Suns fans here with point guard back. It's a walk in the park for us. I think it should be a good game. You got Sam the homer on my right.
I'm not convinced you see the Celtics and you walk in the park. You play the Celtics more of a walk in a dark alley, like with some thugs around. I mean,
I'll put it this way. I don't think the Celtics are a walk in the park for anybody, but I also don't think the Suns are a walk in the park for anybody.
They're not.
I think
more
the
of
Suns
a trip to the golf course, as the team did yesterday.
I think the Suns are probably the third best team in the league right now, behind the Celtics and the Bucks. They're right there. Jimmy J, did the Rockets beat the Suns? Yes, they did. The Celtics have also lost to the Bulls twice, though, so I don't think the Celtics can make that sort of argument. But I think it'll be a good game. I think CP back definitely adds an extra element for the Celtics to deal with. So it'll be interesting to see how they attack it. But we appreciate you for the comment, Praga, regardless. Hopefully it'll be a good game for the sake of NBA viewers. But for the sake of the Celtics, I think they're probably hoping for another blowout again.
I sure would like to see a blowout.
I
sure would like to see a blowout so I can go to bed. That's what I would like.
Exactly. That's what Sam is rooting for. Jimmy J is on the free fall train tonight at Miami. And the Bulls.
Yeah, all these teams are in free fall except for when they're playing the Celtics. So I really don't care. I really only care about the rest of the NBA like 4 times a year, respectively, and if they're in the West twice a year. When they play the Celtics, I really don't care. If they're beating the Celtics, they're not in free fall.
We have just putting it out there. We still have both of our power forwards out. This is true. I don't think
I raised you Celtics having 2 centers out.
I was going to say this. The Celtics are missing Al Horford and Robert Williams also tonight. So it is an equal battle on the injury front. And if anything, I would argue the Celtics are probably missing a tad bit more than the Suns are, especially considering I don't see Jay Crowder putting on a Suns uniform again. So that might be less of
situation's weird, isn't it?
It is very weird. And I kind of feel bad for Suns fans. I know you don't, Sam, because you don't really give a shit. But it sucks that the way ownership is handling things, like not wanting to pay Cam Johnson by the deadline. I know Celtics fans can relate to that because of the Grant Williams situation. Jay Crowder just kind of sitting out there when you obviously need a power forward is also rough, but we shall see. We also see 8 of you on he means Torrey Craig and Cam Johnson. Okay, well, fair enough. Still, Celtics, Robert Williams, and Al Horford is probably at the very least on par with the Suns.
It is an injury pissing contest here on the pregame show.
Exactly. We'll get to Jackin. I know Jackin has a question for Sam. I did want to mention somebody's Dennis talking about Chris Paul. Can't see him putting up more than 12 to 14 points, but he will put up 10 assists. He's averaging 9 points this year, 9.5 points, 9.5 assists. So he's taking on less of a scoring role. Jimmy J beating the C's have been good. And then obviously we'll get to Jackin's question here quickly.
So I wrote about a lot of words today on Peyton Pritchard and just different potential moves the Celtics could include him in if they wanted to, if the other team wanted to. Just hypothetical stuff. Like I wrote scenarios where he'd go to Utah, go to Portland, go to Toronto. But I really think the most interesting thing out of all of that is that Brogdon was out Monday and they still didn't play him. Do you read into that at all? Do you make anything of that? I thought that was kind of weird because the whole point of like arguing to keep him around instead of trading him is so you have like injury insurance, and they just were like, "Hey, we're gonna see how it goes without him." So
I understand that, and I think it could be I'm testing the waters and without him. At the same time, though, I don't know that the Raptors are a great matchup for Peyton Pritchard because they don't really employ a secondary point guard, right? Like it is Fred VanVleet, and when he's not on the
he could
floor,
be a fit for them. Don't worry about it. Sam pays
exactly.
attention. Sam read all of the stupid bench stats today. I texted Jack. I was like, I'm writing this article, and my brain is melting. And I want it to be known that I don't necessarily believe that those trades are realistic. Or
Did you put it? Did it go out today, or
it did go out?
Okay,
it went
I'll
out.
take a look.
I tweeted it. Someone was very mean in the replies and tried listing all
A lot
these
of people
guard
are
combos
mean.
that were better than the Celtics. To which I reply, people are like saying like Curry, Thompson, and Poole. Like I'm talking about like solely point guards. Like Derek White, even though they play him in the shooting guard role, he's really a point guard. So is Brogdon. So is Smart. If you want to throw Brown in there, go ahead. You can have a pissing contest all you want. The Celtics have the best guard rotation in the league. They are the deepest guard rotation in the league, which is why Pritchard, who is a serviceable NBA player and that would play on most teams, is sitting there watching games from the end of the bench. There's no arguing that. Their guard depth is off the charts. All of those guys are putting up very similar stats, and the only one that's outshining the others is Smart with the assists. All the scoring numbers are very similar.
Yes, absolutely, I agree. Getting back to the chat messages, Jamar in the chat, Ayton, 16.5 points over under. I'd probably bank on the over for that.
That's a good one.
I think he'll probably feast a little bit. Admittedly, with the Celtics big man out, obviously Horford and Rob's been out all season. Sam isn't interested in carrying Landon in the chat.
That's good.
That is funny. Suns, Warriors, and Bucks going 2-1 versus those teams is what I want. That'd be a good result for the Celtics. I think 3-0 is definitely in play with how they've played, but you can't discount those three teams because they are all title contenders. I'd want the Utah trade, but for Vanderbilt, I think that might not be possible. I don't necessarily
that in there,
think
the first one I did a month ago.
Yeah, I just don't see.
I was on it.
I don't necessarily see the Utah Jazz giving up Vanderbilt in a deal anytime soon. He's been really good for them. Tanner's Brown, who's going to be your go-to man tonight, says the Suns fan. I think the beauty of it is that it doesn't really matter. I think both of them
could be
have
Derek White
capability. Exactly, it could be, but Mikal Bridges is obviously an all defense DPOY candidate, like beast on that side of the floor, but he can only guard one of them on every trip down. So I think that's the advantage the Celtics have, at least in that specific matchup area. And so whoever Mikal Bridges isn't guarding, I'll say, is going to be their go-to man for the night.
That was my answer too. And I think to pile onto that, you want to make Booker work on the defensive end. Not that he can't defend, but that you want to tire him out. He is their main scorer, and he's proven he can do it. Obviously, was a big part of their finals run a couple years ago. You need to tire him out. Make him play both ends of the floor. They have the luxury of having somebody like Mikal Bridges where he doesn't always have to do that, or at least be one of the main defenders. But tonight, you're seeing two of the best wings in the league right in your face. You're going to have to guard one of them. Well, who else is going to cover him?
Yeah, exactly. I'm intrigued to see who the Suns roll out at the starting power forward because as we got in the chat, both Craig and obviously Cam Johnson are out. I have the starting lineup, and we were fed false information. Torrey Craig is in fact playing for the Suns tonight, so he'll be another guy that the Suns can throw at Tatum and Brown. I have to assume that's who's going to be guarding the other one. Suns rolling out a starting lineup of Paul, Booker, Bridges, Torrey Craig, and DeAndre Ayton tonight. If I had to guess defensive matchups, I assume the Celtics have some switching, some man, some they'll switch things up. But as far as who the Suns have guard the Celtics, I assume they'll stick Chris Paul on Marcus Smart because Marcus Smart's offensive game plan is really as a playmaker and a catch and shoot shooter. The Celtics are starting Derek White, I believe. No, Grant Williams instead of Derek White. So Booker will probably be forced to guard. I mean, they could stick Devin Booker on Grant Williams, potentially have him guard the corner, and then have Craig and Bridges guard the Jays and Ayton on Blake Griffin. That would probably be my
That
guess.
makes some
But
sense.
if they put Torrey Craig on, great to hear this news from a Celtics fan. Yeah, I just saw it on Twitter, my man. But if they do have Torrey Craig on Grant Williams, that does mean Devin Booker will have to guard one of the Jays, which, like you said, making him work is probably a good idea for the Celtics. So at least targeting him in mismatches. But I don't want them to get too caught up in only focusing on Devin Booker, if that makes sense. Because as we've seen with Sam Hauser, and I'm not putting them on par, Devin Booker is better defender than Sam Hauser. I'll say that here. When teams abandon their offensive strategy and start attacking certain mismatches, it can kind of take them out of their offensive flow. So I don't want that to happen to the Celtics. I think they need to stick to their offensive game plan. And if that means attacking Booker, so be it. They'll go through that pathway when necessary. But yeah, it should be interesting. I think this is probably one of Boston's biggest tests, excuse me, in a little while. I think since the Nuggets game, maybe. This is probably their biggest test, or the Heat as well.
The exam is on Christmas.
Exactly. This is the quiz ahead of the exam.
Actually, this is like the flashcards. The quiz is Saturday. The exam is Christmas.
Sure. I'll give you that. This whole we can
Man,
call the whole
Sam Hauser is a fortress.
We can
Sam
call the whole
Hauser
road
with
trip
the meanest
quiz.
chase down block of the season so far.
What a block too.
That's when you hang him up or you.
Sam might have frozen here midway through the show. A little freeze for Sam. Wouldn't be a pregame show without Sam heading out of here. But yeah, what are you guys looking for tonight? I'll ask the chat. We've talked about, potentially going at Devin Booker a little on defense. We talked about the center matchup with Al Horford out. We've talked about the Celtics offense not abandoning their game plan. What are you guys looking for tonight? Who's going to come in clutch for the Celtics? Are the Suns going to clamp down and stop the three ball? Or are they going to focus inside with Al Horford out? What are some of your predictions from the games? And Praga, I'm sorry, I can't pronounce your name, but Suns fan in the chat, give me yours as well. We'll get a little perspective from both sides. Flood the chat with some thoughts, not necessarily hot takes, but some takes that you're looking for from tonight's game. I assume Sam will be back shortly, as there he goes. But there we go. We got Tiffany saying, no sloppy and lazy playing. I think that's going to be very crucial. Obviously, the Suns are a good team on both sides of the ball. They've been one of the better defensive teams for the past few years. Celtics have a lot of weapons, but turnovers have been an issue for them over the past few games as well. Obviously, 18 and 20 in those Miami games. They kind of put it to rest a little bit against the Raptors. Obviously, 2 turnovers in the second half was good, but they've helped that. Jimmy J. Al Horford is out due to health and safety protocols, which is, NBA terms for COVID. We don't know how long he's going to be out. Obviously, in the playoffs last year, he was out with health and safety, but then he was back for the next game. So this may
how
or may
long
not
does
be a
this
long
go?
thing. What?
Like how long are they going to be doing this with health and safety? Is this the last year of it? Do you think? I mean, after a while, you get to call it a day.
No, because then you get into the point where everyone's sick. I think what will help is when everyone is vaccinated, but we're not going to get politics on the show.
Yeah, Horford got vaccinated, didn't he? He got vaccinated before the playoffs because there was talk that they might play Toronto.
Yeah, that doesn't mean you can't still spread it though. If he's got
That's what I'm saying. Well, yeah, but if you're vaccinated, you can still get it. That's why I'm saying, like, at some point, when do you pull the rug on this?
You don't. This is the point, because if he plays, then he spreads it to more people, and then the NBA is in this entire ball again. I don't want to talk about COVID on the pregame show. We're talking about basketball. What was just talking about how there are no more COVID cases. Yeah, there have been a few sprinkled in this season. I know Bradley Beal dealt with it. Horford dealing with it now, but yeah. And as Tiffany said, no sloppy, no lazy playing. I think this is a huge key. Before Sam's get to smash the odds, was Horford in Toronto on the bench. I didn't notice if he was there as well. As Sam's typing out the smash the odds picks, we have 10 of you on Guy Boston Sports. We are no longer going to be on Guy Boston Sports starting in 2023. They're focusing in a different direction that is non-Celtics. So if you love the Celtics and you enjoy these pregame shows, which I'm sure some of you in the chat do and are on Guy Boston right now, head on over to the How About Them Celtics podcast YouTube channel. It's at the bottom of the screen for you right there in big letters, How About Them Celtics podcast. We are streaming there right now, and we will continue to stream there past the time when we are not with Guy Boston Sports anymore. So make sure to head on over there if you enjoy the pregame shows. Subscribe there if you'd like, but at least have it marked so you can tune into the pregame shows. We'd appreciate a subscribe. And also, I know some of you watch the podcast. Obviously, How About Them Celtics podcast. We just dropped an episode today with Evan Valenti going over some sick Celtics jersey designs made by Pete Rogers as well. And then Suns fans, I asked while you were out, Sam, for some opposite perspective. Stopping Tatum and Brown getting hot in the first quarter will be key for the Suns, which is very true. The Celtics are a very hot first quarter team. Obviously, they weren't hot against the Raptors, though, and it didn't matter. So I think this is a good idea for the Suns, but we'll see if the Celtics can bounce back if it does happen. But anyways, sorry, go ahead.
Pick of the night presented by Smash the Odds at Smash Odds on Twitter. You can follow them for daily free picks. You can pay extra money to get all the picks daily and make yourself some money. If you go to their profile, you'll see big week last week, up 15.5 units on the week, all time, much more than that. Regardless, tonight's pick, Marcus Smart over 22.5 points, rebounds, assists total. So those three stats all combined over 22.5 points, rebounds, assists, whatever. My pick, Grant, over 1.5 threes. He's probably going to get some extra run tonight with Horford out. So be on the lookout for him to be chucking the ball up there, maybe from the corner. Hitting the step back threes lately, Grant. He said, hey, you didn't pay me. I'm going to get all these other people paid.
Yeah, Grant's been absolutely amazing. I mean, you can't really ask for much more.
You have been
taking a look right now. I know, and I've got to stay hot. I'm looking right now. Let's see here. Jayson Tatum over is meh. Jaylen Brown over 25.5 points is plus money for you. So I'm gonna go right there. Jaylen Brown plus 25.5 points tonight. That's my pick for the night. I think him and Tatum are gonna play really well. And like someone said earlier in the chat, Tatum might have to focus on the boards and as a passer. And if that's the case, Jaylen Brown's going to take over in the scoring column. So I'm going to go Jaylen Brown. Other picks that I potentially like, you look down the line, I always look at the threes because those usually give some, decent odds. Derek White over 1.5 threes is plus money for you. That's good. I really like that as well. Jaylen Brown is all right. Where's Grant Williams? Over 1.5 is not plus money, which is not as good for the Celtics. But yeah, I'll go Derek White plus 1.5 threes and Jaylen Brown over 25.5 points. Those will be my two picks for the nights. But we have a better split of channels. Jimmy J saying he switched channels in chat. We have 8 of you on How About Them Celtics, 9 of you on Guy Boston. To the 9 of you on Guy Boston, if that's where you're watching on YouTube, I'm going to say it again before we start to wrap up here. We are no longer going to be there on Guy Boston starting in 2023. So head on over to the How About Them Celtics podcast YouTube channel if you do want that. Do you guys also cover other teams' pregame shows too? We're just the Celtics pregame show. We appreciate you tapping in, but we're Celtics guys here. We're Boston and Providence. So if you'd like to tap in whenever the Celtics face the Suns, or just if you're looking for insight into the Celtics because they're playing a rival, or you just like us, we appreciate you. And Prag, if you're interested, I'll do a little plug here as well. We just did an episode going over some Celtics jersey designs. So you don't even have to like the team. We just dropped a podcast episode over on the How About Them Celtics podcast YouTube channel, going over 20 jersey designs made by Pete Rogers, who is a Twitter user, designing a new Celtics jersey after they win each game. So check that out. Got some positive feedback on that. It's very cool. It's very fun. Landon asking about Tim. Tim says he's on the brink. He's questionable to return soon, so maybe we'll see him on a pregame.
Tim in health and safety.
Exactly. Tim is in health and safety protocols, but hopefully he'll be back soon as well. But yeah, I can. I don't think links work in the chat necessarily, but I can. Let me see this. How about? Do you guys know if links work in the chat? Landon, Birkin, Jimmy, some of the regulars.
That way,
let me know if links work. Let's see.
I don't know. You used to have the good old porn channels come in the thing and
yeah, the spam bots.
Ban them. That would like ruin Jack's day, and I'd be laughing.
It's fucking pain.
Like I would think it was the greatest, and Jack would be so mad.
Here's the YouTube channel link. I'm not sure if you can copy paste it. Can you add a link in the description? That I can do. Let me see if I can do that somehow. Hold up here. Let me see. Edit the description. Check the description if you're on Guy Boston Sports. Ready? Save changes. If you're the broadcast must be scheduled in the future. Okay.
Next time.
I don't think I can change it. Yes. Next pregame show, we will have
Jimmy J said it works.
Okay, perfect. If you're in the chat, there's a link for you. Thank you, Praga. We appreciate it. That is a phenomenal idea, though. I appreciate it. From now on, if you're on Guy Boston Sports, there will be a link in the chat to the How About Them Celtics podcast YouTube channel, so you can head on over there.
I sent that
why haven't we
privately to
think of that?
Jack before everyone said that. Don't worry about it. I was first.
Need to have in the pregame restriction. Oh, he did say that. I thought you were saying in the chat. No, yes. I appreciate you. Okay, perfect. Link is working.
Damn
We're
right you
heading
appreciate
on over
me.
there. New subscriber, Ime Masakip. I terrible pronunciation. If that's wrong, I apologize. But we appreciate you for subscribing, for coming on over. And yeah, anything else you want to say before we get out of here? There are 10 of you on How About Them Celtics now, which is phenomenal. Thank you for joining.
I don't know, man. I don't have any complaints. I still think like LinkedIn, like trolling on LinkedIn is the greatest though. Because like all the pre written comments have exclamation points on them. I'll tell you what, Tinder, not very good. They now give you pre-written conversation starters.
Really?
And listen, I am no wizard with the ladies, but those are not things you would ever send to somebody that would be successful.
Yeah, that's odd. I am retired from the Tinder game, so I've got
good
no
for
insight.
You. Good for you, Jack. Good for you.
No insight into that for you, but yeah, Celtics Suns are warming up on the court right now of the game next to me. We'll be tipping off soon, though. We appreciate you all for tapping in to the pregame show. Like I said, head on over to the How About Them Celtics podcast YouTube channel. I'm going to plug our podcast with Evan Valenti of Celtics Beat today. One of the favorite shows I've ever recorded. He was awesome. Very fun. Make sure to watch it on YouTube so you can get the full experience with the jersey designs. Check us both out on Twitter at Jack Simone NBA and at Sam LaFrance NBA. Those links, or those ats, I should say, are below our faces. Check us out on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Exactly. TikTok and Instagram will give you the shorts we produce, a couple per episode. And Twitter will have all the links to our podcasts as well as the shorts posted there. And some odds from our good friends at Smash the Odds.
Follow them at the very least. If you really want to pay. And if you pay, tell them the two handsome guys sent you.
Exactly. 100%. But yeah, again, if you're watching on Guy Boston Sports, we're not going to be streaming there anymore starting in January. So make sure to head on over to the How About Them Celtics podcast YouTube channel. And yeah, this has been the Celtics pregame show. We are here 30 minutes before every Celtics game for you guys. We appreciate you. Fist bumps in the chat. And yeah, we'll see you guys for the next one. Peace out.